This is Braun Strowman, the monster among men, and you're listening to the Pop Culture Podcast with your host, Rob!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the BCP. We're getting back to the business here, talking to some of our favorite indie wrestling stars. But before we get to that, gotta welcome back to the show the co-host with the most, the goodest brother, hashtag wrestlers love Krus Nunez, hashtag the goodest roommate. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the show the best smelling man on the planet, Mr. Krus Nunez. What's up, bro? How are you?
I'm doing okay, man. It's good to be here. Hashtag greatest roomie.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Can't wait, man. Big things coming ahead. And it's been a crazy year, man. I mean, you know that better than anybody. And, we're lucky to, it's all about silver linings now. We're lucky to use this downtime to kind of connect with some of our favorite, indie wrestling stars right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, right now, so honored, to welcome to the show. And you guys, you know him from TCW, Standalone Wrestling, Pro Wrestling After Dark. This guy is a powerhouse and always steals the show. Someone who's caught our eye for a while now. Please welcome to the show, Mr. Tommy the Moose. Tommy, what's up, bro? How are you?
What's going on, brother? How you doing? I'm doing good.
Like I always say, man, all things considered, it's been a year, bro, but staying healthy, staying positive. How about you, man? You staying healthy, family's good and everything?
Same here, man. Same here, brother. I've been taking about 16 different vitamins every single day, brother. Saying my prayers, it's just making the best of this really, really crappy year,
Yeah, totally. And I've been following you on social media as I stalk all my favorite indie wrestlers every day. But I see you, you're putting in the work, and I know you. You've always been putting in the work, working out. You had a little bit of a home gym situation that you were kind of making. I saw you kind of made like your own bench press and stuff. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, when this whole pandemic thing started, as soon as they shut down the gyms, I knew I was going to have a hard time. The first thing I got was a bunch of resistance bands. But, I mean, I've always been a power lifter. I've been, like, my max bench press is 545. So, bands are like nothing to me. You know what I mean? So I needed weights. I couldn't find them. I was contemplating making them from concrete from Home Depot.
Wow.
So I went to Home Depot. I picked up some wood. I picked up some materials. And I put together a little thing. I actually found a basic bench press with the leg extension, the leg extension gimmick. And, it's a basic bench. It's only good for like 100 pounds. So I kept breaking it. So I had to go to Home Depot, pick up some materials and fix it up. You know what I mean? But it's good now. It's good. And I got the ratchet strap gimmick on the bottom too to keep it together. But,
yeah. Just be careful, man.
Yeah, I already had some video I put out earlier. I don't know if you guys saw it where I was maxing out and I dropped the weight on my throat.
Yeah, that's just what we need is an injury here, man. But I got to ask you this, Tommy. And again, thank you so much for your time, man. It really is an honor.
Yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate it,
dude. We're not worthy, but basically, man, it's a tough time, in the world. It's a tough time for everybody. Us creatives, we can use our platform to kind of talk to you guys and, spread some messages of hope and stuff like that and positivity. But for the indie scene right now, there's not a lot going on. Obviously, we're lucky to have what we had. I think, I got to review the drive-in show, the drive-in brawl for TCW. And that was amazing. I thought they did a great job keeping everyone safe, the social distancing. We literally just pulled our car right up to the ring. We were right there for all the action. I gave the show a glowing review. I think Billy and Charles did a fantastic job all around. But for you, I feel like everyone's just kind of been on the bench. What did it mean to you to kind of get that notification that like, hey, Tommy, we want you to be part of this show where wrestling is back for the first time? What was that like for you?
Well, it felt pretty good. I mean, felt good to come back. It's been a while since I've been in the ring. Even before the pandemic, I kind of slowed down a little bit. I did a couple of standalone wrestling shows, but I didn't really have like full-blown matches. I was doing like battle royal here and there, doing some comedy gimmicks. I like to do some comedy stuff every now and then. When I'm not doing the power stuff, I'm doing, comedy stuff. I like to make people laugh, So, it was pretty exciting. And I went in there with an open mind. I got to wrestle a young up-and-comer. Mason Martin, another powerhouse. Kid used to play football, used to wrestle. He was pretty strong. He beat the hell out of me, but it was still fun, even though, you know.
It's funny, man. You kind of segued to this perfectly, but I try to notice what different wrestlers bring to the table, and I feel like obviously you have that powerhouse persona about you. You have the powerhouse athletic ability, but you seem to me like an extra mile kind of guy. You do have that comedic aspect, with all due respect, man. And I think you coming out with like the paper, the flyer with him on it, or whatever it was. What's kind of like your philosophy when you go to the ring and compete?
Well, what that was, it wasn't just a flyer. It was an old picture of him that I found. He was like 17 or 18 or whatever. It was a picture that he took when he was really young, and now he's kind of embarrassed about it. So it was kind of like, when we go out there, sometimes I like to rib my fellow wrestlers. I like to make jokes and, make them embarrassed every now and then, friendly, not to the point where they're like, they want to kill themselves, you know what I mean? But, to the point where they're going to get a good chuckle out of it, oh, you're a dick. You know what I mean? Just like that. So I brought this paper out. He had no idea I was doing it until we went out to the ring. And then I brought it out, and he was a little upset, but he was laughing at it. He showed how frustrated he was when he took my head off with that clothesline. It was still fun, though. Still fun.
Yeah. No, it was awesome. It was a great match, man. Like, personally, I'm like the high flyer type. I like the fast paced action, but when you have a good match with two powerhouses, man, that always, really literally brings the house down. So it's always a lot of fun. Nunez, what do you got for me over there?
Bring it back a little bit. Rob and I are big superhero fans, so we like a good origin story. What made you decide to become a wrestler? How did you get your start in the business, and who were some of your influences growing up?
Well, I've always watched wrestling since I was 2 years old. I remember being 2 years old, my dad bringing me to some high school gym to watch WrestleMania 2 when Hogan wrestled Bundy in the cage.
Okay.
And then I always watched. I was always a Hulkamaniac. I got that giant Hulk Hogan doll when I was young. I was a Hulk Hogan fan, Ultimate Warrior fan. I was a fan of the guys they told me to be fans of. I'm not really some Hulkamaniac now, but back in the day when I was a child, you know what I mean? Like they did a good job marketing me. So, so I was always into wrestling as early as 2 years old. So, and once I became 18, I said, you know what? I'm gonna look for a wrestling school. I had no idea about any of the independent scene at all. I went on the internet, and there wasn't Google then. I think it was Yahoo. So I went to Yahoo, I did a search, Yahoo search engine. I said, all right, what's wrestling locally? I think NWA. So I looked up NWA. I found a wrestling school called Northeast Pro Wrestling. It was ran in Staten Island by two local wrestlers by the name of Lord Zieg and Eric Creed. Eric Creed actually turned into Sal DeMarco, and Lord Zieg retired because of back injuries. But, and also, I don't know if you know Chris Michaels. His name is Bill Pierce. You ever seen him on Facebook? He's actually still active. He's part of that tag team with, Bobby C or something. They were really tights. So those guys trained me. And for a couple of months, we had Big Vito. Big Vito came in towards the end of my training, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
He was tough, though. I'm not gonna lie. He was pretty tough. He beat the shit out of us. I was in the best shape of my life when he was there. He killed the fun, but he beat the shit out of us. It was pretty fun, though. One of the methods that he taught, I mean, I guess kayfabe is gone, so I could pretty much break it right now. One of the methods I remember him teaching was he took a stickball bat and he started hitting us with it. And we're like, why are you hitting me? He goes, all right, this is a bumping drill. If I hit you in the back, bump forward. If I hit you in the front, bump backward. If I hit you in the stomach, do a nice flip for me. All right, bam, and then he started fucking whacking us. But it was fun though. I enjoyed it, and that was 20 years ago. So I've been doing this shit for 20 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, man, good for you. That's awesome. And
that's on that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, big props on that. And basically, I wanted to ask you, Tommy, like, hypothetically, I'll kind of A/B this one, kind of dream matches in terms of someone, could be past, present, legend, someone that you would want to face, on the national acts, the talents on TV and whatnot, and then someone you want to face in the indies, maybe again, or that you haven't faced yet.
Well, national, let's see, guys that are like signed, you talking about like WWE, Impact, and all that stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, I've always been a fan of the powerhouses. So like a Brock Lesnar, Brian Cage. I'd have to train for a couple years first. Those guys are beasts. Those guys are monsters. I don't know if you've seen that latest picture of Brian Cage flexing, but that dude is a monster. I would have to say,
really is.
but and as far as like today, current stars, there's a lot of guys on the Indies that should be signed. Like Sean Donovan is one of them. He was at that show, TCW show. That guy's on TV. I don't know what the hell they're taking so long in signing him for. He's one of them. Matt McIntosh is another one. He's one of my favorite guys. Chris Banks is another one. He's looks like $1 million. He's out there entertaining like crazy, and these big companies are sleeping on him. It's crazy, But those are some of the guys that I enjoy facing. Actually, Chris Banks is my best friend. So I mean, I'm not trying to put over my best friend, but
no,
we're all about the shameless promotion, man. Promote.
They're all about. Please put them over. We've had some of those names that you mentioned on the show a few times. We haven't had Krus on, but we've seen him a few times. We've had Adina on recently. So a lot of big names that are going places and going really far. And I can't just wait for everything to start back up. It's really exciting. But Tommy, I wanted to ask you, on the same page here, what are kind of your goals, as far as the business? Like, is it to get that television contract? Is it to kind of help the up and comers, man? Where's your head at right now?
Well, I think right now, after being in it for 20 years and not really going anywhere, but just kind of hanging local, I think now my main goal is to kind of help the younger guys get over, kind of help them get better and, put on good matches with them. I like having good matches. I hate going out there and not performing well. I always want to have, one of the best matches of the card. My main goal as soon as I go out there is I want the people to make noise. I want the fans to enjoy themselves. Because they're coming out there, some of them families of 4, 5, 6 people, spending a lot of money, spending a couple $100 that, it could go towards a car payment, it could go towards a rent or whatever to see us wrestle. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that it's worth their while,
Dude, very well said. That's what it's all about. And Tommy, just something that kind of came to mind when I've seen you a few times. I love wrestlers that are like very vocal when they get to the ring. And you came out there, you had the picture, you're talking to the crowd, you're engaging, man. I love that. I think you have a fantastic voice. Have you ever done any, obviously wrestling, there's an acting element to it. Have you done any acting or voice acting?
I haven't done any voice acting. As far as acting goes, I did a music video a few years ago.
Really?
Yeah, as a wrestler though, I was a luchador wrestler.
Oh, really? Okay, I got you, man. I was just saying, I think you have a fantastic voice, man. I think a lot of these wrestlers, I'm like, they should be voice actors. Nunez, what do you got for me, bro?
You mentioned before how you were making the at-home gym during this whole pandemic and self-quarantining and things like that. What else have you been doing to keep yourself occupied and keeping yourself busy?
Well, besides my full-time job, I've been just working out, doing some cardio. I got the heavy bag in the basement. I've been hitting that. Other than wrestling, I also like to have some boxing matches every now and then. Wow. I'm part of a celebrity boxing. I don't know if you've ever seen them. They operate mainly out of Atlantic City, and now they're actually doing a show in the Bahamas. So that's pretty cool.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Are you going to that? Are you going to be at that show?
I don't think I'm going to the Bahamas. My real job is kind of preventing it, but I would like to though. But I think I'm sitting that one out. I think I'm going to be back when they're in Atlantic City. I think they're going to be in there. I think August they said was the next show. I think August. Yeah, I think August.
I got you. Probably down at the Showboat. I know they had some of those events.
Yeah, they have it at the Showboat. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty good experience.
That's awesome, man. And, we're talking about all like the in-ring stuff, man. What's Tommy the Moose like outside of the ring? You have any hobbies? You a collector? What goes on outside of the ring?
Outside of the ring, man, I've recently just been trying to work out, trying to get in shape. My entire career, I was always like one of the funny fat guy. So just recently I started getting into shape. Up until like 2017, I was like 350 pounds. And really big. Like, I was always like the big boy of the ring, I dropped 100 pounds and just, been flying around like crazy.
Good for you, man. All right. That's awesome to hear, man. And, real quick, not to get, too political, we always keep the show very, very positive, man. But lately, the past couple months, everything has just gotten so very, very real. I don't want to say black eyes, but a couple just weird spots for, wrestling, up and comers, or even, stuff going on. We hear about legends and stuff like that. We've addressed it on the show a couple times, working with some other podcasts. Tommy, you have been brought up in a very positive light and, helping people and always being like big brothers to people that we've talked to and stuff like that, man. What's kind of, I guess, your philosophy kind of looking at this whole situation, and maybe anything you have to say that to people that are in the business, that they can do to, be better and maybe look out for some of these really talented kids that we have on the show and we think are going to go really far, and we just hate to hear this stuff.
Man, they just gotta look at everybody as if they were family, which is really what we're supposed to be doing. Everybody calls each other brother or sister, and in real life, you wouldn't be doing that shit to your brother and sister, especially with all these women wrestlers that are coming out now, that are speaking out about, all the terrible things that have happened to them. I mean, you gotta cut the shit out.
Yeah, man.
Business, you know what I mean? They're not there to be like people's, objects. They're there to do the same thing we're there for, Just, they want to be wrestlers just like we do. Just treat them with respect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same way you treat everybody else.
Simple as that, man. I love it, man. Just like we always say here on the show, Nunez, you know this. Just be a good human, be positive, especially this year, guys. Like we're dropping
be kind, be positive.
Be kind, rewind. That's right, Nunez. But, more importantly, guys, just, be good to each other, and let's all support each other, especially in the wrestling business. There's not a lot of shows going on right now. I think Pro Wrestling Tees has a big sale coming up this weekend for July 4th, 20% off. I'm excited for that. So hoping to buy some shirts. Tommy, you got any merch or 8x10s or anything anyone can buy?
I mean, I got these shirts, but I don't have them online. I got them in a box in my closet.
Okay, man.
I don't have the Pro Wrestling Tees gimmick yet. I've been buying a lot of merch from other wrestlers, though. I'm trying to show my support the best I could.
There you go.
Layla Hirsch shirt today. I don't know if you guys ever seen her wrestle before?
I think she was at Boardwalk Beatdown, and we've seen her at a couple standalone shows, I think.
Yeah, I believe so.
She's good, man. She's good. She just came back from Japan before this pandemic, and she is phenomenal, man. I seen her. The first time I seen her wrestle was in training. She was training at CZW. I went there for a training session. At the time, the trainer was a preacher, Phineas James.
Sure.
He's a really good trainer. He's training at the H2O Center. But, I distinctly remember this because she gave me a shot, popped me right in the mouth. I was like, whoa, that was a hard shot. And then we worked together during training, and I was like, wow, she's pretty good. And then I seen her in action at a WSU show. And I was just really impressed, man, from her just throwing everyone around, suplex, and all the moves, the way she works, the way she talks her shit during the match. Reminds me of like a Brock Lesnar, I would say.
Wow.
Young Brock Lesnar, but female version is not a piece of shit.
So, I wanted to ask you, Tommy, you mentioned, she popped you one real good. We always ask wrestlers this, we always get very different answers, from the fans as well, man. I'm kind of, not forming my own opinions. I'm just listening to what people have to say. Your kind of thoughts on the whole intergender match kind of thing.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Why not? Might as well have it.
Done.
Yeah. I really don't have too much to say about it,
Yeah.
It's too long that we haven't had intergender matches. It should have happened a long time ago.
From what I'm hearing, again, I'm in the business from a journalistic perspective, I'll say, and from everyone I've talked to in the business, the story was, hey, we, the girls train with the guys, so it's just another day at the office. And everyone in the business seems to like it in terms of storytelling, a bigger dude versus a quick, agile, high-flying female. You can really tell a great story. So I'm kind of learning about that. I think it's very cool. And we're seeing a lot of these organizations having intergender championships and whatnot.
A lot of the people that have trouble, a lot of the people that have problems with that are normally, I always see the same thing. They're like, oh, it doesn't look real, That guy is too big. It doesn't look real. Let me tell you something. You take a regular female wrestler, let her punch you in the face a couple of times. Let her put you in the arm bar. It's gonna hurt. She'll throw you around. If she got the skills, if she's trained and she knows what she's doing, she's gonna kick your ass the same way a man's gonna kick your ass. So why not have an intergender match, right?
Love it. And yeah, there's some amazing females up and coming right now, especially in our local New Jersey area scene. Tommy, who else do you have your eye on? You mentioned Layla. Anyone else you have your eye on right now that's up and coming?
Up and coming?
In the indies, I guess.
Well, you got your kid Christian, you got your Jordan Oliver. They've been doing pretty well.
They're great.
Oliver's been in MLW. Christian's been. I've wrestled with them since they first started, and they've really come up really fast. Those are two guys. There's one guy I always thought was going to be really, really good. This kid, Junior Flo. I don't know if you've ever seen him wrestle. He's in the North Jersey area. His father's Frankie Flo.
Okay.
And I always thought, I said, this kid is really talented, but he just never really branched out. I mean, I think he's going to come back after the pandemic's over and we start back up again. I'm going to try to talk to him, get him to start branching out, doing more shows than just the same three shows in the North Jersey area. Let him get himself out there. But I think, I always thought he was going to be really talented, but he never really went for it. I'd like to see him see how far he can go with it.
I'll look him up for sure, man. I just wrote it down. We try to support everybody.
Yeah, definitely.
Casey Anthony Rivera.
Oh, say again?
Anthony Rivera.
Got it.
Yeah, that's his Facebook name. Well, that's his real name.
Check it out, man. No, thanks so much. Everyone check it out if you're listening. Casey's a huge part of the show. We have Casey on multiple times, man. He has always been very, very good to us. Casey, your Bob Culture shirt is on the way, by the way. Shameless promo. Check it out now on tpublic.com. But more importantly, Tommy, where are you from originally, man? Because I'm a big food guy. I have some food questions for you.
Originally, I'm from Staten Island.
Okay. Gotcha, man. Are you a pizza guy?
I'm Italian, so yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I always try to ask everyone this, man. Best pizza place. I've heard a lot of Brooklyn places. I hear a lot of Jersey places. You can name multiple ones. Best pizza place.
My favorite pizza place was always Danino's. And one of my fellow celebrity boxes, if he's listening, is going to be upset because he owns Brothers Pizza in Staten Island. And they're competitors. But I remember Danino's Pizza was always really good. And when I was training in wrestling, we'd always go there after a show. We'd have a successful show, and we'd go to Danino's and have a pizza party. But the pizza was good. It wasn't just, maybe it was just because it was a good experience, but the pizza was good too. I really liked pizza. So that would be one of my favorite places to go.
That's awesome, man. And real quick, before we get to the social media and the shameless plugs, man, and again, Tommy, thank you for a few minutes. I wanted to ask you this. I've seen the moniker, the Orange Avenger. Is that a superhero reference? Are you a superhero guy? I'm curious about that one.
For a while, I was a little bit of a superhero, I come out there with the orange cape and, all the orange gear and
okay.
It's like it's a positive thing, because oranges are healthy. You go out there, you get your energy from oranges, instead of, like bad things like substances, you know what I mean?
Look at that. I love it, man. Freshly squeezed Tommy the Moose. I love it, man. You're ahead of your time, bro.
I did that for a while, and then I heard about Orange Cassidy, and I said, well, I guess that's over. Now I'm doing the mixed martial arts.
Yes! Oh my gosh, I love it, man. Who's your favorite superhero? Do you have a favorite superhero?
My favorite superhero? Well, going back to being a power guy, I'd have to say the Incredible Hulk. He would have to be my favorite one.
Okay.
And Thor. I like Thor too. He's pretty cool.
Nice. Awesome, man. All right, we'll get some shameless promo out of the way. Nunez, you got anything else, man?
Well, we were talking about up-and-coming wrestlers before. Do you have any advice for any up-and-coming wrestlers or anybody who wants to get their start in the business? What advice or what do you have to say to those ladies and gentlemen that are trying to get into the business?
Well, my main advice would be have a backup plan. Go to school, go to college, go get a degree in something, pretend like wrestling doesn't exist, and you're going to be an accountant or you're going to be a teacher or whatever. Get your education, get your degree, because if anything were to happen, you could break your leg at any given time in this business. Anything happens, you're going to need that. You're going to need to, support yourself. You're going to have to do that, and you're going to have to work twice as hard because you're going to have to do that. You're going to have to work at that. and you're going to have to work at being a professional wrestler. It ain't easy, being a professional wrestler. Just on the indie scene alone, you gotta do work, but if you want to be a, professional wrestler in the big time, you gotta make it your life. You gotta do everything. You gotta hit the road. Don't worry about, how much is this promoter going to pay you today? You gotta get your face out there. You gotta get your brand out there. You gotta let people know, hey, I'm the real deal. I'm here to be a professional wrestler and I want to entertain people. You know what I mean? And that's not even speaking from, I don't want to say it's speaking from experience because I didn't get my name out there. I stayed on the independent level. You know what I mean? I got advice from guys that did make it, and I'm going to relay it to the younger guys. But, as an older guy, I want to tell you, I did go to school and I got my education, and that's why I'm able to, support myself because I didn't just rely on professional wrestling. If I did, I'd be fucked. Well, I would say go to school and get your education first and have it there. Have it ready to go just in case because you never know.
Very well said, man. And I think that's
advice. Yeah,
and that's fantastic advice to everyone listening. And Tommy, thank you again for a few minutes real quick before we get out of here. Tell everyone where they can follow you on social media and all that good stuff.
Well, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, and I'm on Facebook. Just look up Tommy the Moose. That's it. I'm barely on Twitter because I fucking hate Twitter. So I'm on Instagram a lot and I'm on Facebook a lot. Twitter, fuck Twitter. I'm not a big Twitter.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to tag you on Twitter anyway, man. We're going to tag you all over the place, man.
That's fine.
Tommy,
tag me everywhere.
we will. We're all about the shameless promo. But Tommy, thank you again for a few minutes, man. We look forward to seeing you July 11th at American Spirit with our good friends at TCW. Wrestling is back. I'm hoping everyone stays healthy and stays positive and everyone take care of each other. Tommy, continued success. Ladies and gentlemen, we are out. Peace.
All right. Sounds good, man. Thanks for having me.
Anytime, bro.